Today's guest is Belinda Thorburn. I am very excited to bring Belinda to you all because she is not only the founding president of the Queensland Country Women's Association Frenchville Branch, but she's also a mum of four. She is a serial volunteer at any organisation that needs a hand. A bit of a shout out to the Shelter Collective as well. And she is one of the most energetic, passionate, excitable people that I have ever come across and met. And I'm privileged to know you, Belinda. Even just a great example recently was the Frenchville Branch inaugural AGM, where your energy was electrifying. And it's really evident and clear why the Frenchville Branch has stood up and is doing so well under your leadership. And I really look forward to hearing a lot more about your journey and how you came into that position and what that looked and felt like for you over the course of this conversation. So thank you so much for joining me.
Thanks for the invite, Nyree. I was very honoured to receive your invitation.
I am very, very honoured to have you in my world and absolutely love the work that you do with the CWA and all of your other endeavours. So before I really get stuck into it though, I'm keen to find out from you if you could be an expert in anything at all in the world, anything weird, wacky, obscure, what would it be and why?
I think the thing that, because I'm a bit of a chatterbox, I do love speaking. I think that if I could instantly become fluent in speaking and understanding multiple languages, like it's such a powerful connector, opens doors to different cultures, stories, and perspectives. So being able to communicate with people in their own language would be such a great way to deepen relationships, especially in community work.
Absolutely agree. That would be so cool. Imagine if you could converse with absolutely anybody at any time, anywhere.
Yeah, exactly. You know, it's such language is such a barrier when people can't understand you and you can't understand people. So it would be so great. I can't speak other languages. When you just asked me, I'm like, oh, that's the one thing that I really like to be able to do.
Communication is such an asset. Oh, no, that's a great one. I love it. So thinking about your journey or your current position, of course, you're a mum of four, you do work as well, and you are a serial volunteer, woman after my own heart. And of course, you are the president of the the Frenchville branch of the Queensland Country Women's Association, having spent 5 years or almost 5 years with the Gracemere branch. So tell me a little bit about that journey and, what were those key moments or people along the way that inspired your current path?
So I was born on the sunny coast, um, but then I lived in Moranbah for 12 years. So being a really small town, obviously taught you learn the value of connection and resilience and stuff like that. So when I moved to Rockhampton in 2018 to become closer, we had to move to be close to my husband's father. It gave up, like we didn't want to move somewhere that was like too populated because I don't do cities anymore. Like although I grew up on the Sunshine Coast, I like to visit. I couldn't imagine living there. So moving to Rocky was like feels like home, but still has like the country heart. Like it's big enough that it's got everything, but it's still a real country town, and I absolutely love that. And then I joined the CWA in 2020, so that was a real big defining moment of my life because it gave me the platform to give back and connect with women across generations and build something meaningful. So starting the branch this year, isn't it, has been one of the most fulfilling things I've done. And I'm so excited to continue to promote our association, engage with both younger and older women, and do my part to ensure the association continues to grow and evolve.
And I think that's one of the unique opportunities when you do branch out into a community group, a not-for-profit, a profit for purpose organization. You do get to work with such a diverse range of people with varying ages, life experiences, cultural backgrounds. And it's one of those opportunities that you don't actually know is out there until you do jump in and volunteer and get involved.
Absolutely.
Yeah, no, so what inspired your journey? Like what led you to pursue the Country Women's Association and Was there a turning point at all along the way that kind of went, yep, that's exactly what I'm going to do?
Yeah, so I've always had a strong work ethic and like a can-do attitude and love for helping others. Becoming a mum, obviously, to four incredible kids has deepened that, and they've taught me patience and strength, and then the importance of showing up for the people you love. So basically, the turning point was moving to Rockhampton and being so isolated here because I don't have any family or friends here. I didn't know anyone when I moved here. And so I'd been in Rockhampton for 2 years and I didn't have any friends here, like close friends here. So when I had Kiana in 2020, the midwife came and visited me, and she was like concerned about postpartum depression. Obviously, my husband works out of town, and I was home with 3 kids by myself. And she said, well, what are you going to do to make sure that you don't, get postnatal depression? And I was like, you know what? I've always wanted to join the CWA. When I lived in Mooroomba, the CWA was big in Mooroomba, but I didn't have the time. I was time poor when I lived in Mooroomba. I worked full time in Mooroomba in the mines. So when I moved to Rockhampton, I only worked part time. And I was on maternity leave. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to go and join the CWA. So I toddled off to the Gracemere branch when Kiana was 7 weeks old. And I joined up that day. And I've been a CWA member now for 5 years.
That is amazing service, and so brave of you as well to turn up at a community group where you don't know anyone with a 7-week-old baby. And for those of us that have had children, we know exactly how that would have felt, not only physically, but mentally for you. And that's such a brave thing to do. Well done.
It was beautiful. Like, take a baby anywhere and you're instantly going to be like looked after. And they were so welcoming. And basically Kiana instantly had like a group of grannies that just loved her to pieces. So it was beautiful because my husband's mum had passed before she was born, and my mum lives on the Sunshine Coast. So, she didn't have those in like, that always see the grannies. So she had this group of like other grannies.
And there's always so much we can learn from other people as well, especially people far more experienced at life than us. Yes. So tell me, like, having only been in Rocky since 2018, how do you think living in Rocky and being so close to the Capricorn coast has helped to shape your story? Of course, in parallel with being a member of the CWA for 5 years, but, being here since 2018, how's Rocky helped define who Belinda is?
And I spoke about this before. Rocky has this beautiful balance of being big enough to offer opportunities like that small country towns don't have, but small enough to feel like you belong. So it's a place where you can build like really strong community ties and still enjoy the laid back lifestyle. So for our family, it's a perfect mix because we love the bush and beach and camping. And Rockhampton has it all. We spend days out at Yatoon, at the lagoon. We walk to the park. You go for a walk along the beach up to the fish and chip shop to get fish and chips for lunch. We go to Byfield and, take a picnic lunch out there and go swimming in the waterhole. And, we head off down to 1770 camping whenever we can. We're also huge country music fans. Rocky's Great Western always hosts amazing artists. James Johnson was here last year. I was super jealous because I went to Port Douglas when he was playing. My daughter made sure she video chatted me and said, Mum, look what you're missing out on. We went to the Wolf Brothers at the Great Western in 2023. They're definite highlights. In June this year, we travelled to Bloomsbury. Mackay's 3 hours up the road. So they had Country Fest 2025. Shout out to big international Randy Hauser who headlined that. Oh, it was amazing. Great local artist as well. And then in a couple of weeks' time, in 2 weeks' time, we will be heading to Gympie for our 3rd year at Gympie Music Muster. So that's what makes this region feel like home to us,
That is so awesome. And you've just celebrated so much of our region in one conversation, like in one statement. It was brilliant. I am absolutely on the same page as you with, everything that we've got to offer here in Rocky, and big fan of the Great Western and all of the acts that they bring to our town. Absolutely brilliant. So what does community service mean to you? So obviously you love Rocky, which is great. We love having you here and you're a local now. So, the CWA are well known for their service to community, and you're, as the president of the Frenchville Branch, anyone who's been to Doblo's will see that the The CWA has the country kitchen corner with recipe cards and examples of, fruits and veg that you can make at home quite inexpensively and quite basically like nice, simple, basic recipes, which are full of flavor and amazing. And you're, heading that up and making sure it's stocked well. But what does that service mean to you? What is it like? What drives you to do that?
Means showing up, whether it's doing those country kitchens displays at Doblo's, running craft days at Benevolent Living for the residents there, promoting healthy eating through the country kitchens program, through like expos and stuff that we get invited to, supporting the shelter collectives, maybe one project. It's just making sure that people feel seen, supported, and valued. And living here has given me the chance to do that in ways that are like really personal and rewarding. I always say that I work to live. I don't live to work because I get my joy. My joy is outside of work. I get my joy from my family and my volunteering. I love it. That's why I only work 4 days a week. Friday is my volunteering day. So that is my passion.
No, I absolutely love that. And it's, a common thing as well for people that come from small country towns. Definitely not calling Moranbah a small country town, but it's a country town. And my stepmom lived out there for a lot of her life and raised her family out there as well, speaks very highly of that town. So yeah, absolutely appreciate that sense of community that you do get. And yeah, Rocky's just an extension of that. So I think you've absolutely nailed it. In all of your journey, and you are such a vibrant, energetic, bubbly person with a absolute like just go get them kind of attitude. You just like an energizer bunny sometimes. What have been something that comes to mind for you? What's like a significant challenge or something you've had to overcome, or something that, was an amazingly proud moment that's helped to influence and shape your perspective on life and the world in general?
Um, so I have, obviously my biggest challenge has been balancing work, family, and community commitments, but it's also where I found my strength because I'm a natural multitasker. I like to lead by example, whether it's at work or at home or in the community. So it's incredibly fulfilling. It makes me proud every day to know that I'm showing up in ways that matter. And I hope by doing so that someone my daughters can look up to. One of my proudest moments is seeing my eldest daughter, Brooke, step into her own leadership role as the secretary of the CWA branch. She's 21 years old next month. So working
Amazing.
alongside her is such a joy, and I hope I make her proud every day because the friendships that we've built through the CWA, and the sense of purpose we share from that together, they're just the things that keep me going.
I love this. It's you are very inspirational to the people who know you, and I would imagine that inspiration extends within your own home as well. And your daughters and son are very, very lucky to have you, and you're a great example. You're a wonderful mum, and I really look forward to seeing what you achieve. I mean, 5 years in the grand scheme of things is such a short period of time, and I just look forward to seeing where you elevate this branch and how this branch does give back to our community. Of course, not to take away from the amazing work that the Gracemere CWA does or any other group local to us, but it's just really it's really exciting to see where this heads. So you should be very proud. So I guess a question that I'm not warning you about because it wasn't on the list, but I'm going to ask it anyway. I absolutely adore the CWA, and I'd like to invite you to share with anyone who's listening if they're interested in getting involved, whether they're local to Rocky and are close to either Gracemere or Frenchville, or whether they're somewhere else in the state or the country. Like, how can they get involved?
So, Queensland Country Women's Association have branches all across Queensland. So there are divisions across the whole thing, and each division is made up of multiple branches. The Capricornia division has 9 branches now. It used to be 8, and now the Frenchville branch has made number 9. So there's 2 ways you can find information out. Nearly every branch has a Facebook page. So if you jump on Facebook page, they all and type and you can type usually your suburb, and that will always drop down a Facebook page of your area. Otherwise, if you're just wanting to look and see, what these before you get involved, if you want to see what we're about, most branches now post lots to Facebook. The easiest way is jump on the QCWA website, and at the top of it, it says join us. There's a button that says join us, and you can put your town and it will give you a list of the closest branches to you. So that is also another way of finding out what branches might be local to your community. If you don't have time to go to physical meetings, there is also the option. I actually am friends with a member of the virtual branch. So the QCWA actually has a virtual branch now. So I believe, I'm not 100% sure, I think, well, obviously being virtual, they would meet by Zoom meetings. And I don't know what day they are, but I do know that that is also an option just to get involved and connect with women across the state. So it's a powerful, powerful association. I just love it.
That's amazing. And you've got like the CWA has a well-respected voice at the state level as well as at the federal level, and very well-respected organisation. So anyone who is looking for that connection, I'd strongly recommend that you reach out to the CWA and yeah, just give them a go. Have a bit of a look around, stalk the Facebook, have a look at the website. Yeah, no, that's awesome. Thank you. So tell me, this is my last question for you. It's a bit of a two-part question. I should split it, but let's keep things interesting. So, what keeps you going forward every single day? What helps you to show up, get up, keep getting those kids ready for the day, turn up for work, do your volunteering, lead your CWA branch, and in addition to that, what legacy or advice would you leave for the next generation of people coming along after us in Rocky?
Okay. What drives me? Obviously, besides my family, is the belief that small acts of kindness, I love the slogan, be kind, because those small acts of kindness and connection can create lasting change, whether it's volunteering, starting a community group, joining a community group, or helping a neighbour. Your effort matters. And my advice for the next generation is don't wait to be perfect to start something. Just begin. Believe in yourself. I keep saying, I only joined CWA 5 years ago, and back then I was lost, and way back then when I started, I never imagined that 5 years later, I'd be sitting here, the president of my own branch, supporting others across the state, having a mentor, being a mentor to others, sharing my knowledge, soaking up others' wisdom, forming strong community partnerships. And all the while, I have fun. I have so much fun. It's fulfilling beyond words to know that I'm living my values and hopefully being someone my daughters can look up to. The legacy that I hope to leave is one of courage and kindness and strength. Never underestimate the power of intergenerational friendships. They're a treasure trove of wisdom, love, and just damn good times.
Agree, yes. Oh, no, that's wonderful. And I do want to recognize as well the amount of work, and it's not work because it's fun, but the amount of fun you do have with the CWA, because you do have lots of different hats with them, and it isn't president of the Frenchville branch and that's it for Belinda. Tell us a little bit more. Again, I didn't warn you about this, but tell us a little bit more about what are the other roles that you have with the CWA or the committees that you sit on?
Okay, so I have filled a few roles over the last 5 years. While I was at Gracemere, was the branch secretary for a few years. I believe I did 3 years of secretary. And I also was a division vice president for 2 years. I've done publicity and marketing for 2 years at the division level. Most recently, in the last 18 months, I have been part of, I still am, sitting on project group, the Empowering Procedures Group, which is part of the state reimagining project. So we're looking at the procedures and the why of the association and, just structuring that. And I provide a lot of support in those areas to those women. I am the unofficial IT person. If they don't know how to use Word or computers or PDF, I get all those emails. And then just recently, I have nominated for the State International Weekend Committee. Provided IT support for our State International Officer, Bar McMillan, at the Rockhampton International Conference this year. And I received an email last week asking me if I would be willing to provide that again next year. So I was like, if I'm going to be involved, I might as well be all in. So I'm off switch for February International Conference next year.
Oh, that's awesome. Well done.
They're the other things that of like for the thing that I've been involved in. Like everyone's involved in these. Every year there's a regional conference for each region. Queensland's broken into 3 regions, so there's regional conferences. Every year there's a state conference. So this year I'm very sad. It will be the first one I've missed in 4 years. It's been 2 in Toowoomba, 1 in the Kai last year, and then this year is Cairns. And I wasn't able to get time off work for that one, so I'm going to miss. But it's so much fun because there's always like so much learning of 3 days. And then, there's a big gala dinner for every conference you go to. So we all eat a meal together and do some dancing afterwards. It's always a good time. And then we have international conferences every year. So there's always lots of opportunities to go and this is where you meet those friendships across the state. I've got some really great friends. I've met a little 21-year-old president from Mount Isa last year, and her and Brooke formed a friendship. So it's about having those sister branches. I met Jody from Longreach. I'm really, really good friends with Chris Walker, who's also on the Empowering Procedures group, but she's the division president up in Townsville. Gabriella Field, she is the virtual branch. She lives at Gympie and told me I need to call by and have a scone and a cup of tea with her on my way to muster next week.
Very nice.
Right. I really, really, that is one of the things I really enjoy about CWA is the friendships.
And it's also, and I see this across lots of organisations as well, the personal and professional development that you gain from being involved in an organisation like this, and the belief that you can obtain within yourself as well, where your journey over 5 years is significant to your personal and professional growth. That's the power of community, and that's the power of not-for-profits and charities and organisations that people can and should get involved with. It is wonderful. So thank you so much for agreeing to jump on this podcast with me today. It has been an absolute pleasure, and I am so stoked to have had you as a guest and to keep watching your journey and watching the Frenchville branch excel and keep goals. And I absolutely encourage anyone who's looking for something extra to reach out, get in touch, and consider joining your CWA.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me, Nyree. I really, really appreciate it. And I'm always happy to talk about my CWA.
Yes, and celebrate the amazing person that you are. Let's add that in there as well. All right. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Nyree.